Alrighty, good morning, my friends. It is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. We're going to go ahead and jump back here and take a look at what happened yesterday and in the overnight session. I just need to check something quickly here. Give me one moment. I might actually have to add the second picture to our news report, which I didn't update. So give me 1 minute. We'll do that and then we'll get this started. So just wanted to get a picture here of where we are up top and get that on the news report. So we shall no, we're gonna have to do it after because for some reason my screen grab is not working. So let's go ahead and take a look here, guys. Some really awesome price action yesterday. Got some pretty good trades off myself. Let's go on back. And remember what we said yesterday. If the bulls could defend 50% of the previous week, we were expecting the continuation to the upside, right? And so what happened here, just in the general sense yesterday, they pulled back to 50% of the previous week and ducked through it around the open, got the push out. So some nice bullish action out of there. And then we retested it with a nice bullish divergence on that test almost to the tick for the second bounce of the day. So basically everything worked out as planned. Remember, if they couldn't defend this area, we were expecting a pullback down into some other major levels where we wanted to see the bulls jump back in. But they defended the first major area we wanted to see them defend. Let's look at some of the details inside of here. You guys know I took that long just before the open, was able to get a scalp out of it, and then it came back to my entry. So I got out. And here you see the market opened, held our first roadmap level to the tick. There was some decent bullish divergence for the pop, only to fail pretty much to the tick off the next roadmap level. So here we go with our parries back and forth between all of our levels. So I got short as we rejected off of here. There was a 3-minute bearish divergence forming as well from up here. And I went ahead and hit it with that. This was basically what I saw here, was this final little peek through by one tick and the RVI looking very bearish there. And again, failing from that level with a bunch of bearish divergence from there. So I got in, got a pretty decent trade pretty soon after the market opened. You can see on the way down, they bounced again off that roadmap level, giving you another scalp opportunity. And then came down, and then we just did, again, we kind of sweeped right through the major level we wanted to see the bulls defend. The bulls did defend it, and then we got a really nice sweep higher. On that way up, you can see really aggressive at the beginning here with basically not even getting back to the fast moving average. On the way up, they have bearish divergence off the level, pulled back to FMA, got through it, pulled back, bullish divergence, held the level for the bounce out. We got this right here was actually, I'm a little bit disappointed I wasn't here to get this trade, but pull back into the 200 in the direction of our expected move off the 50% level, right into the 200 with bullish divergence, very clear divergence as well, which is again why I am a little disappointed I didn't get that. And then I did fade it once we came into the major scaffolding at 59.85. I did try after that first test to get in off what I saw was, again, one of these little micro bearish divergences, and I got stopped and then got right back in when I saw this pattern off the little peek through. So another bearish divergence. I got in and made money on that. So I got a little stop out, but then made decent money and then got another nice trade right into our expected support here. And then they kept going, right? I should have really been playing the other side of this, but I was kind of expecting a deeper pullback from 85. So I started to see signs for the pullback. I got in again here, and then I really should have been thinking about getting long, right? Especially as we pulled back into the roadmap level, bullish divergence, essentially a test of the 200. So good opportunity for a long there. And then we petered out. You can see just how, I mean, if you were to just step back and look at these rotations, I mean, bam, right into the major level, pulls back, bounces off that major level below us, comes back, pulls back, gets through it, comes down, holds that one, comes up to that one, holds this one, gets above there, starts to hold above it, and then we fail through, come back down, right? I mean, it's kind of almost like every major turn in here was right off the level. Then as we failed out, some beautiful opportunities here. In fact, I was here trading or looking for some decent setups and literally went and did something on another screen and came back and realized that this was my best opportunity. Was this sell-off, the test of the 200, and then this push a little bit through it with bearish divergence. And then as that failed out, I really would have liked to got in, but I wasn't watching the screen, of course, which would have been a really good trade. And then you can see a lot of support, again, right around this roadmap level, but they kept rejecting off the 200, again, off the 200, off the back end of the roadmap level, back end of the roadmap level, and then we come down only to bounce, and this is that what we looked at a little bit earlier here, right off the major 50% level again, and this time gave you a beautiful, I think it was even a 3-minute bullish divergence off that low, and then that was the beginning of the next major rip higher. And as you can see, once again, on the rip higher, look at every pullback. I just can sit here and circle all this, pull back to the roadmap level, pull back to the roadmap level, pull back to the roadmap level, get through this. Now, notice we kind of tested it, pulled back, tested it, pulled back, got through, and then came to the back end and pulled back, right? So there was something going on there, just kind of wasn't perfect. And then they went through it and pulled back and then used it as your next support for the way up. And on the way up here, we get a lot of rides. Again, it was pretty fast, holding the FMA to the downside and the upside in all these moves, coming all the way up, right up into now. You can see basically the whole way up. Once we held from here and started to rip, it was all FMA the whole way. If you bought the FMA, you took on very limited risk this whole way up. You should have been able to ride this thing. So on the way up, unfortunately here, we did not pull back right to the roadmap level or the 200, which is very typical, right? But it was an aggressive push. That would have been a really sexy trade over in here. If they pulled back into here, and this was really extreme, would have been a good low risk opportunity to potentially get that next 10, 20 point pop. So this line right here, this was not necessarily a level we were trading or scalping around. It was the major 50% retracement of the sell-off from the all-time high. And remember, we talked about needing to see the bulls recover back above this general area to have even more faith in that push all the way back to retest all-time highs, or at least try and break out through this bearish downtrend we've been in ever since they made the all-time high. So at the end of the day, they kind of come right into that 50% area. Again, this was not necessarily a scalping level or a trade, an area to trade, kind of like our roadmap levels. It was just an orientation that we needed to get above that general area, right? So they came up into it, and that's why I just marked this earlier, because we put it on the news report as, watch, we need to get through there to have faith in the bulls, right? So they kind of get through, and then at the end of the day here, you can see, again, we pull back. There's the bearish divergence off the test of the 200 at the end of the day, where you could have got yourself a little scalp. And then right in the last couple of minutes, a bearish divergence off the test of the 200 again, where you could actually grab at least 5-6 points to the downside. Actually coming right to, let me finish here, coming right back to our roadmap level to the tick for the bounce that has led to now the bounce in the overnight session there, right off the level to the tick. So let's go ahead and see what happened here last night, and we'll jump up to the higher time frames for our pre-market this morning. So check out what happens here, guys. We hold the roadmap level to the tick. We open and Globex and push right to the back end of the next roadmap level, where we then pull back. Okay, on the pullback there, they hold the back end of the VWAP, right? They come in and they bounce basically from the major structure zone that held in the pullback from the day before, right? So wasn't perfect, but this is what you expect. I mean, the market isn't always going to give you a to the tick hold. In fact, a lot of times they're bringing things through a level to stop hunt a little bit and take some of those weak buyers out, and then run it exactly where everyone expected it to go, right? So good hold right from the major level. And objectively here, we're talking about no more than about 2 points through the level, or I'm sorry, 3 points through the level. and then we get the pop last night. On this actually right here, if you were watching this last night, you should have recognized the huge bullish divergence that formed when they made that second low and started to come back out of that area, right? So it was a pretty good opportunity. In fact, this was the divergence here. And I'm sorry, we'll skip that. So it came up, and then we got this pullback last night. Great hold, great opportunity right here to try a short off the back end of the FMA with all that extreme divergence. Should have gotten a nice little 5, 6, 7 point trade out of it. As you can see at the bottom there, big bullish divergence. Not a level, not somewhere I would have entered, but a big bullish divergence that led to the next bounce. And now here we are coming into the open here and just kind of in a sideways chop. Despite that, again, here's another example, bearish divergence off the 200 for a great trade right to the previous daily close with a bullish divergence that has led to that bounce. So again, some great opportunities in this chop. And now here we are coming close to the open, and we're coming right back into that major moving average, right? So that's it for the review. Again, I think some really, really notable rotations off the levels yesterday that gave you some great opportunities to get in on these rotations with limited risk. Let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and see what they're saying for this morning. So again, buying the previous daily close on the pullback last night in the last hour here, it's giving you, again, another 10 points to the upside, right to the 200. So pretty good stuff. Let's go ahead and jump on up.